Hey guys, and welcome back again to me, Ben, playing City Skylines today in my city of Springvalley. So this is gonna be one of the last episodes, episode 51. It's not a long time to go until City Skylines 2 will be released, so yeah, I'm trying to finish things up for you now in this episode and then probably get started better sooner than later with City Skylines 2. I'm honestly very much excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I just recently, by the way, released a video about the 10 most anticipated features from my perspective when it comes to City Skylines 2. The most exciting things that we will see in the new game. So I promised you by the end of the last episode, episode 50, that I'm gonna fix the train connection here. And as you can see, like trains are piling up to here and to actually over there. So what I have to do first to get a better visibility on this, and this is where I'm jumping quickly out of the video mode and just making sure that I'm switching over to the render mod, switching to environment and disable dynamic fog, because otherwise I won't be able to see the borders of the map properly. And I want to try one fix that I just recently learned about, and I hope that it'll turn out great for me as well here. So two things that you need to install for this to make it work is, on the one hand, the 81 tiles mod, and the other thing is the unlimited outside connection revisited mod, because otherwise you won't be able to do what I'm about to do right now. So without any further ado, I'm going to start fixing my first train connection here in the hopes that it works. I'll explain to you what I'm doing here in a little bit as soon as I'm done. But in the meantime, maybe you want to consider to subscribe to my channel, to like, and maybe send me a comment here on this video. I very much appreciate your support. Thanks a lot, and see you in a minute. So as you can see here, like at least the trains in one connection are already getting started with moving again out of town, out of the city. So suddenly all of these trains disappeared for whatever reason. I'm very surprised that it went so quickly and so fast. The other thing, I'm just slightly... Oh no, there is a train coming in. So I was shortly wondering whether incoming train connections still work, but obviously they do, so that traffic almost cleared up. So I'm following this procedure here, and I'll do the same thing over there by the end of the other map, other side of the map, and hopefully it'll turn out well as well. It's just a bit tricky, to be honest, because this tool obviously doesn't really allow me to create a nice thing. So I'm trying something else here. I'm using the parallel mod or roads tool here, and I'll try to fix it that way, and I'll create two parallel pieces of train tracks, one left, one to the left, and the other one to the right. So I'll do that for now, and I'll be back for you in a few. And suddenly it looks as if I got that cleared too and got my trains back moving, to be honest. So I'm surprised what kind of an easy fix that was, but still I'm also a bit surprised that Paradox and the game developers didn't fix that issue so far. So I'm wondering whether I should... trains are piling up now here. So I have to fix it on the other outside connection as well for you. So I'll be back again. And then we should be good to go and move ahead to other projects here in my city of Springvalley. So that all looks quite promising, to be honest. Oh, except for one thing. And I think I messed up with that here. So I have to pick again the one-way train track. Move it out there. And then change this direction to an incoming connection. Maybe that didn't work properly. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it looks like I'm in trouble here. I'm wondering. Doesn't really work. No, it's giving me a problem here with the outgoing train connection. So I have to check in with the plugin here. This is loaded. No, it should actually be working. It might be some kind of difficulty here with the terrain or probably with the mode here that I have been using. It's just kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it's the mode. It's not the terrain, it's the mode. Strange thing. Well, either way, I got things fixed. Hopefully. People are running upwards here and they're like vanishing, maybe walking to town. I don't know what they are doing, but at least they got here. And I'm also wondering whether I have to increase the size of the first tile here and push it further out, probably a bit. Yeah, it's a bit short, I think, because otherwise they won't be able to spread out evenly across the whole thing. And same goes for that here. I think that makes way more sense. And the only other thing I'm going to delete now is because I think it's causing me some troubles here, is this train. I'm just removing that. Didn't I catch? Now we go. There we go. And even that should be a bit longer, I believe. So here, you move over there. And you also get a bit more wiggly room to make sure that everything's set up correctly. But this should be basically working. So I'm wondering, has my traffic rate increased here? It's still at 83. Maybe a lot of people are actually going by car now because they don't like it. But on the other hand, yeah, nothing is piling up anymore. So I at least solved my train traffic issue, I believe. And I'm just double checking because I don't trust it right away. Yeah, but it does look okay. At least over there it looks okay. There it looks good as well. Are still people lining up there? Yeah, they are. Maybe I also have to move this here ever so slightly. And also that here for the outgoing connection might make sense. Yeah, so I think I'm good to go here. And what is it that I wanted to focus on next? So let me just double check and recap what I did in the last episode. And then figure out what I actually want to do in this episode here. And I also have to change my settings here slightly. Back to dynamic fog. Looks way more natural here. So yeah, let me figure things out and I'll be back for you in a sec. So guys, as a couple of you might have noticed, I took a little break because I was struggling with some settings, and actually this here over there caused my road tool to not really crash, but to not show up, and that was very, very inconvenient to work with. And until like I figured it out, it took me a while. I googled it, I found no solution. I tried to find something else, I found no solution for this. I reinstalled the mod a couple of times, restarted the game back and forth, but no solution here and there. But now I got it figured, and I can continue working on my city for now. And I want to deactivate a couple of things. Not the borderlines, the zoning grids are not that important, as well as the zoning colors. I don't want them to be visible as long as I don't need them. So currently I have way above, not really way above, but more than 100k citizens here, which is a great thing, because that was one of my goals from the previous episode 50. Can't even imagine that, like it took me 50 episodes to get there. It was quite a long stretch, to be honest, but I took my time and spent enough hours building on something very new here in Springvalley. So right now I'm thinking about what to do next. Like I kind of always wanted to, I still have that area here where nothing exists, and maybe I should just focus on building a small little town here again, similar to the one that's above here. Probably that's a good thing to get started with. So I'll lay down the foundations for this new settlement here. Just create a new district here to make sure that I'm not messing things up, and maybe I'm stretching it further out here to the foot of the mountain instead of going up the slope. I think going up the slope is not an option here, or at least not too far, because otherwise I would be carving a lot of things out of this mountain here. Sycamore Square, let's call it just Sycamore, I think, for now, because this should be a nice little town in the near future. So let me get started. I'll be back for you in a few minutes as soon as I lay down my road network and put down some essential services, because I have demands for residential zones, commercials, and a little bit of offices / industrial zones. So I'll be back for you in a few. So I'm letting the game run for a bit to see how and whether people are actually moving in and whether everything works from power supply perspective and whatnot. Yeah, so that's connected. Hopefully over here. Oh, I also need like the wastewater management. I'm just wondering, the inland water treatment plan is usually not as good. That gives me some pollution. Advanced. So probably this here should do. I'm always forgetting something whenever I'm starting a new city. I'm always forgetting something. It's a bit of a pity, honestly. So I'm just wondering how long it might take for the power to arrive here on the other side of the road. But I'm speeding things up now ever so slightly, just to make sure that things are connected properly and we are not running into any issues. Like, as you can see, I defined a new zone here. Sycamore only has self-sustainable buildings. It has farming industry, which shouldn't cause any like pollution, ground pollution. And the other thing that I have here is commercial zones with local produce products. So that should make sense quite well. But now I think I'm just connecting this up for just the time in between to make sure that everything's supplied properly. But I'll change that obviously after a bit because it doesn't look very well. I'm letting the game run now, because otherwise those people moving in here, they'll move out right away or pretty much very soon. And I think it might take a little bit for me to get things going here. Same as it took in Brook Heights. It's not that easy to get something up and running that quickly. And the other thing I want to do is actually I want to limit maybe that connection to something more rural here. So I'm connecting this up and I'm moving that node because otherwise it looks a bit strange. So I'm going from this, what is it called, National Road, down to a 2-lane road. The National Road doesn't allow me to build any buildings nearby because it doesn't have any building zones here. And the 2-lane road obviously does allow me to build buildings and set things up there. But that's okay. Like, that's fine for now. I'm waiting for this to develop. And in addition to that, I also want to put down a nice park here. I never know which one actually fits in there well enough. Japanese garden is way too small. I don't want to put this down here because it would be kind of, yeah, why not? Let's put down a Japanese garden here. So that does look great so far. Buildings are coming, businesses are moving in, and offices are being raised, which is very interesting. And I hope that this kind of intersection on and off ramp thingy here is enough to serve both parts of Sycamore. I'm not yet sure. But I'll let it run for a little bit and see what's coming up here, and I'll be back for you in a little bit again. So I did change a couple of things here in my new district of Sycamore here. And I also added a few more residential zones to help this little district grow. And as you can see, it's like clearly separated between industrial, more like commercial and office, but also, yeah, a few more or less high-rise residential things. So people should actually have everything that they need here. And the other thing I'm just thinking about is that it might be a perfect place to get a natural reserve into town. So I will start building a new one with the entrance probably over here to have a nice starting point, and then have something lead here up the slope of this mountain. So I'm very curious to see that come to life, so please bear with me for the next few minutes and I'll start building the base for my natural reserve here. So I think this turned out quite nice here, this little natural reserve. I'm just curious how many people will actually use the parking lot. So I'm wondering whether I might have to change it. I think I will have to change the rules for parking on those roads here, because otherwise people will obviously choose the cheaper version of parking, which would be on the roadside, because otherwise it would be kind of dumb. I'm just curious how many people are visiting this place finally in the end. And the other thing I'm also wondering about is how long it will take me to get to a, let's say, 5-star natural reserve here. It might take a while because it's quite big, it's quite huge, and there's just a little population here. So it's not a lot, so mainly the people that will come here have to come from like the bigger parts of Springvalley. But I think for now this is looking actually quite good. This gives me some room for future development here, but I think this turned out quite nice, and the only thing I want to actually add are some decorations, some trees for me here and there. So I'll put those down again, kind of as a sound barrier alongside the highway. I'll increase the spacing a little bit because it's a rural area. It makes more sense that trees are maybe not that dense but more sparsely populated here alongside the road, because in rural areas maybe people care a little bit less, or there are few people that the city government actually has to take care of. And I think this is actually a very good approach to just make sure that everything's going fine here and nobody's complaining too much. I'm wondering regarding the noise level, because as far as I know, those on and off ramps, they tend to be very, very noisy. But I'm wondering whether the noise level is slightly different because they are not coming off of a highway here. So I'm checking on that quickly in my info views. Just have to make sure that I find the noise pollution. But it's pollution in general. There we go. So that's not that bad. There's just this industrial zone that pollutes the area ever so slightly. The bus is polluted slightly, but all the rest looks pretty well and good for living. So my residents shouldn't have any issues or any problems moving here, living here, and enjoying their life here. Except for the fact that there are not a lot of things around, but it's a nice little community. Maybe, hopefully, they'll enjoy it living here. Moving on from there, I have one more thing that I was thinking about since quite a while, and this is actually building a zoo for Springvalley. I'm just wondering where I'm putting this down, because here I have a natural reserve. Maybe this would be a nice, wonderful zoo area. So I think I'm gonna save that space for later. Just checking in on my train connections again. There are so many trains coming in. Just wondering what's happening there. Maybe I have to check again on my setup that I just recently made here. So I'm switching off my dynamic fog here. I just have to make sure like this turned out nicely. Yeah, it did. Just curious. This should be able to leave, or are these incoming trains? I think these are incoming trains. So their issue is somewhere else. Just following them now, because those incoming trains, they're stuck, but not really stuck here, but they are clogging up my thing here. So maybe I have to redo this kind of intersection here. So I'll quickly do that and I'll be back for you in a few minutes. I'm giving this construction a quick try here. I built this with two intentions on my mind. The first one is, of course, I needed to create an option for trains to pass by this kind of intersection here without any hassle, without having to wait here for too long. And I think I can even delete that connection to make it more clear. And the other reason I was building it like that is because it gives a lot of space for my trains to move and get to the other line here. I just forgot to deactivate the tree anarchy mod, which is a bit of pain now, but I think, yeah, it should be fine. It should be all good, except for a few trees that are standing right on the tracks here. But as you can see now, like, trains are already choosing that connection. I think there might have been just one or two trains that were clocking things up. I'm wondering, that's also a bit short here, but this should be fine because everything gets moving again, which is great. But they also need to hang in for quite a while, quite a long time here. So what happens over there? I'm just checking again the outside train connections. So need to deactivate the dynamic fog again. Oh yeah, so there is another outside connection here. So I will quickly set this up and pause the game here, because I want to make sure that I'm not making like any mistakes during the build here. So I'm giving them a lot of room to get out of town. I'm also pretending to have another line here also goes out of town. Then everything reconnects here. That reconnects over there, and then I only have to change the direction of the train line. It's quite funny or interesting to see that, by the way, and this is something you might have been wondering about. And this is because the incoming train connections, they always have arrows in two directions, but trains, from the game mechanics here, they will choose which one to take. And whenever they have just one outgoing and one incoming connection, trains will sort themselves out accordingly. So that's pretty good for me here, and it should be fine. So this is also okay. It's a lot of passenger trains. Many of them are heading to my downtown area. I'm just wondering whether there is, except for the main station here, whether there is any kind of problem / issue with trains getting stuck here, but I don't think so. Even that super duper roundabout thingy for my trains here is kind of okay. And this here, yeah, it's all incoming. It's all incoming here. I believe I might have to change this here as well, and I think I'm better gonna do this because I want to make sure the trains can go nicely without any trouble into whatever connection or direction they need to head to, they need to go to. So I'm leading this here for quite a while alongside the existing tracks before I'm actually merging it. So this should give all the trains a lot more room to organize themselves and to wait in line if needed. I have this slight feeling actually that something is very, very close or too close to another crossing intersection for my trains in this whole network. And I have a few ideas where this could happen, even if I thought I might have built things quite well. For example, I'm wondering why this train is stuck. So maybe I can get rid of this freight train here. So yeah, so this can move now. And I think it was maybe 1 or 2 trains clocking things up here. But we should be back to normal pretty soon. So that runs smoothly, except for no, even that is not an issue. Even if it's a really tight turnaround here. A lot of trains are going there anyway. Yeah, it looks way better, and I think this will take some time until everything sorts itself out. But since we have so many incoming trains, it's no wonder that this will take some time. And even over here for my industrial area, it's so quiet. But so many visitors. Are these visiting? Yeah, I think many of them are actually visiting my city, my town here. Yeah, it's a good thing. So it could have been worse, could have been bad. So that looks good. I'll see what happens. Let me see what happens over there. So this is looking good. Can trains actually leave here? Let me just double check just to make sure that I haven't done any mistakes here. No, I think this is all fine. Probably all good. Just making sure that this other outgoing connection here is also good. Maybe I have to extend it a bit further out. That's not a bad thing. So by increasing that, I will be able to make a bit more room. Sorry for that wiggly ride here. A bit more room for the single trains to stop. And also with the other outside connection that I just edited. And honestly, I don't remember when or where it was. There is no, that's strange. That's a bit strange here. Yeah, so even that here, I think I can pull it out. No, it's not a problem. Yeah, that's fine. There is not a lot of traffic happening. That's easy going and fine. My plane crashed on the side of the map. Interesting. So I'm checking all the outside borders here right now just to make sure that I haven't missed anything significant. No, it's enough space here. Have I missed anything? No, I think it's all good. It's all fine. All perfect. Love it. So I'm putting back on my dynamic fog because it looks nicer to play with that. More beautiful. So maybe, guys, I've been fixing a couple of things in this short episode here. I took care of my train connections, which was the main purpose of this episode, actually, after running into massive issues within my last episode. I built Sycamore here, Park Marsh, a new natural reserve park here in my city of Springvalley. So it's a nice natural thing here. Hopefully people love it over time. There's not a lot going on. It's just been 8 visitors so far. Not a lot, but this was about to be expected. Because who's traveling that far? In City Skylines, maybe people don't, especially since they have, like here, another natural reserve very close by. Yeah, besides that, I'm actually very happy with this build, even if we have few hokey pokeys happening here, but that's fine. That's all good. Things happen. And yeah, in that case, I think I'm closing this episode for now. I'm very grateful for you guys watching this again, and I hope to see you soon back on my channel. If you haven't left me a like, haven't followed me yet, I would very much appreciate it if you did so. And yeah, please leave me any comments, like any recommendations, whatever you want to see here. Me playing City Skylines 1 for the last couple of weeks. Let me know, and I'm more than happy to work on that. So have a good one. I wish you a wonderful night and hope to see you soon back here. Bye bye.